everybody. It's Sierra coming back to you from Life Pulse Therapy here in Naples, Florida. Today, I have in front of me in a Zoom call, a lady that I have been trying to chase down for months out of Montana, and her name is Miss Tammy Yost-Wildin. She is a human equine and canine PEMF professional, and I cannot wait to pick her brain because here in Southwest Florida, we may be a little bit unaware of what's going on within PEMF, but we need to understand that this is a huge, huge movement, not only nationally, but throughout the world. And there are animal and human lives that are being changed every single day from this revolutionary technology. So Tammy, thank you so much for joining the call. I really appreciate you being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
Awesome. So let's get started. Tell me a little bit about your background and how you fell into this crazy world of pulsed electromagnetic field therapy.
Yeah, of course. So I own and operate Heart T Ranch Equestrian Services in Joliet, Montana. And I've been a self-employed horse trainer, riding instructor for over 30 years. And with that comes a lot of wear and tear on your body. So the first of my major injuries happened in 1996. I had a shoulder dislocation, 2 subsequent rotator cuff tears in that shoulder, 2 in the left shoulder. In 1998, I was kicked in the face by a horse, somebody that was screaming for help. I went to help them and their horse ran me down in the round pen and kicked me in the face. I have plates reconstructing the left side of my face, had complete numbness on the left side of my face, like you have Novocaine, suffered 2 cervical vertebrae fractures when that happened, and had migraine style headaches for over 20 years from that. Went on to have an ACL rupture in my left knee, botched knee surgery to correct that left my leg with a lateral shimmy. So I kind of lived in KT tape. A rib dislocation, and all 2 other traumatic, the traumatic brain injury was the kick in the face, but I had 2 other really serious concussions. So as we know now, those things are cumulative, and the kick left me with kind of there's a word for it, I should have looked it up. It's a disassociative speech. If I would get really tired, I would look at the clock and say banana. Right? Like couldn't connect the correct word to it. So suffered with that for years. And what do? Right? You keep living life and you battle through the pain. So in 2018, I had re-injured that really bad shoulder. It was so unstable. It was sliding out of the socket, just the weight of my arm. So I was kind of running around with my thumb hooked in my belt loop, riding, teaching. And I went to Canada to teach a clinic. I teach up there quite frequently, and I have some family south of Calgary. So I went a day early to visit the family. And my aunt had a lady there working on her stallion for a torn suspensory. And I'm like, what is PEMF? I'm progressive, right? We do acupuncture and massage therapy and chiropractic, and I'd never heard of it. So I'm watching this session go on, and Catherine is a human massage therapist as well. And she's like, what's wrong with your shoulder? And I told her, and she worked on me with the equine loops for about 45 minutes. She didn't even have her human accessories with her that day. We went in and had lunch. And by the time we got done eating lunch, so maybe 2 hours after the session, I couldn't believe the pain relief that I had. It's not pictured that immediately, but it was outrageous. I slept through the night for the first time in 2 years. Anybody with shoulder injuries knows that every time you move, it's like you're being stabbed in the shoulders. Slept through the night, woke up the next day, taught 26 riders in a clinic for 3 days. Catherine worked on me again before I left to come home. And I had driven to Canada with my elbow on the console on a pillow to keep the shoulder within a range I could tolerate. And I drove home normally. It blew me away. So I came home and started to research PEMF. I have a science background. I was going to be a science teacher until I discovered that teachers don't get paid enough money. But I love science. So I started researching it, and I discovered that Catherine had the pulse system, and that system, and I'm sure you already have other people who are far more experienced than me, but it produces a superior waveform to other machines. Okay, we produce a square waveform, which is highly absorbable by the cells. So I called up and I'm like, ship me a system, right? It was a big investment, but the improvement that I felt just in 2 sessions, it was worth the risk for me. So I got my system and I was on it 5 or 6 days a week for the first month. And I just kept feeling better and better and better, stronger and stronger. Was able to start to do more and more of physical therapy on the shoulder, things that I hadn't been able to do in years. I was gradually working into. It was kind of like peeling back the layers of an onion. The things that were causing me discomfort just kind of started to melt away. Within 90 days, I was pain-free in both shoulders. Within 6 months, I had achieved full mobility in my right arm. If you've ever been around someone with that severe of a shoulder injury, I hadn't been able to do this in almost 20 years.
And I think there's probably so many chronic pain people out there, myself included, as very chronic pain person, things that most of us take for granted, like lifting your arm up to grab a cup out of the cupboard, we're not able to do, right? I mean, how many times do people go to every specialist, try every supplement, take every medication just to be able to do something as simple as this? I mean, this is called getting your life back for many people. And for some people, it's a shoulder. For other people, it's a leg. For other people, like you said, it's headaches. You know, that's something that is so priceless. I think it's something that PEMF, it's just, I hate to use the word miraculous. I'm maybe not allowed to say that, but I know a lot of people that have used it, that have used that sort of language because they have tried everything, correct?
It literally gave me my life back. And the surgery they wanted to do to repair my shoulder has a high failure rate. I have rodeo friends who have had it done and had it fail, and they're like, whatever you do, don't let them cut. And so I was really hesitant. Now, I'm not anti-surgery. There are times when it's absolutely called for. It's just in my situation, it was not a viable option for me with the activity level that I wanted to be at. I am an FEI dressage rider, and I ride eventers, and not having full function, at least my minimum was I need 75% use back in that arm. And I feel right now like I have 90. There are still some things that I think are never going to be completely strong just because of the level of damage to it. But I can do push-ups, I can do burpees, I can actually work out again in ways that I couldn't before. So I'm 47 years old, and I feel like I'm riding like I was in my late 20s again. It's liberating to feel like, okay, I have a riding career ahead of me.
Wow, interesting. So tell us, give us some specific examples of healing. You know, some people say this is too good to be true, and I'm not familiar with it, so I shouldn't trust it automatically. And I understand that. That's part of our job, is to help educate people and just give them more familiar with actual stories. Give us a few examples of maybe horses or dogs, some animals in your life as well that were able to really just amp up their health.
So after I got my system, I tend to be one of those people that kind of dives into the deep end of the pond, right? I was all in on PEMF. So I decided to become advanced certified human and animal. And I started being a pulse professional and working on animals and humans. I've seen such a variety of people who had no other hope. The FTC says that, we can't claim our technology diagnoses or treats anything, and it doesn't. PEMF just gives the cells what they need to regain normal function. So one of the most prevalent conditions that has shown improvement with use of PEMF is fibromyalgia. So it's a really broad collection. And this is just my opinion. This is meant for entertainment purposes only. I think in 15 years, the diagnosis of fibro is going to be completely different from what it is now, that they're going to find that it's a conglomerate of different things. So many people, the onset is different for everyone. The symptoms are different from everyone, but across the board, we have had no one that has come to us for sessions that has not improved their pain. Wow. Most of our fibro clients are off of muscle relaxers and pain meds in 90 days.
Unbelievable. I have to interject for a second, because I was watching TV the other day, and there was a very, very well-known diet company that had one of their, infomercials, and this person had lost 40 pounds and this person had lost 50 pounds in 2 months. And everyone was running on the beach in their bikinis and looking all great. And then if you looked on the bottom in really small text, it said some nasty words, 3 words: results not typical. Cool. And I thought, if I went to a restaurant and they showed me pictures of all this beautiful food and this gorgeous buffet, and I was so hungry, and I sat down and they just gave me a dry piece of toast and a glass of water, and they said, well, you can look at it, you can pay for it. Some people get to have a buffet, but not for you, because results are not typical. Wouldn't it be but we accept it. This is a multi-billion-dollar company, and I'm not just trying to single them out. I see this all the time within supplementation, skincare. Oh, look at Angela. She has such beautiful skin now, but her results aren't typical. So it got me thinking about PEMF, because of course we can't guarantee that every single body we put this technology on is going to miraculously heal. It's a package deal. There is a lot. You have to take a 360-degree approach of your health. We understand that. But how refreshing is it to know that in so many cases, results are typical? It's an actual investment that you are going to get back. It pays for itself, and you get the results back 1,000-fold, right?
Well, and I think the perfect way to show that is with animal application, because animals can't be hypochondriacs and they don't have a placebo effect. Yeah. So I would take, the first example of an animal that I worked on was my own dog, Baloo, who had an ACL rupture, and we had the tibial replaning surgery, the TPLO surgery done with him on that leg. It's a brutal surgery. I don't know if I'd do it again, but he was only 4 years old, and it did make him sound on that leg. Unfortunately, they do tend to go lame on the compensating leg eventually. So by the time I got my system, he was already 3-legged lame on his good leg. Wow. So I started PEMF with him, and same deal. Like, he had results in 2 weeks. He was starting to use the leg. Within 90 days, he was starting to run with the young dogs again. It took 6 months for him to regain musculature in that atrophied leg. So again, it's not like it's magic overnight, but this was a dog who was on his way to being euthanized. Wow. That reversed that disease process in that leg. So that was the first. Then I have a stallion who, and again, these are my own animals. We have lots of results with other people's animals now too, but these were the initial exciting results that we had. My stallion was a preliminary eventer, and we had a bad fall in 2014, and he had a stifle injury. Those are very difficult to diagnose without MRI, which means for me a 12-hour haul to a veterinary hospital that has that. And even then, the veterinary treatment for that would not have changed, knowing what was torn. So we rehabbed him the best that we could. He was reasonably sound for low-level dressage, so I leased him to a client. When I started pulsing him, he steadily got better. Now, keep in mind, I did him 3 days a week for the first month, and then twice a week for the next month, then once a week for the following month. So that was my 90-day protocol with him. And he is now sound to the point that you can no longer see any deficit in that leg.
Wow.
So the beauty of PEMF is, and I can't tell you the function of how it works on scar tissue, but those old injuries, it really is quite amazing what it can do to help the body restore itself after chronic injury.
Absolutely. Though that's fantastic. So for those people who are on the fence, why do they need PEMF? Why does their animal need PEMF? What would make them want to give this a try?
So that's the most asked question, right? So the first thing that I ask potential clients is, what are you doing? Why are you even looking, right? Why are you looking for something? Why are you asking me questions about it? Well, they have an issue. The animal has, or they have an issue. What are you doing now about it? How's that working for you? It's not, or you wouldn't be having this conversation. So it is the cheapest thing you will ever try that is going to change your life. Period. I'm not even mincing words about it. Every single person that sits in my chair, every single animal that I put attachments on has a positive outcome. At the very minimum, PEMF helps the cell to regain a normal, healthy charge to get back to normal cellular function. The body is an amazing machine. It has the power to heal itself. We don't have to heal it. Give it raw materials and enough voltage, and it can do the work for itself. But if you are not providing it with the voltage, we're not providing it with proper nutrition, so you have the raw material, that's a key part, right? You've got it, like you said, it's a 360 approach, but PEMF is a cog in the wheel of health. It doesn't matter what you're trying to improve in your body, it's an imperative piece of that wheel.
Beautifully said. Well, Tammy, it's such a pleasure. I'm hoping this is going to be one of many, and that my audience is going to see a lot more of you, because you're a wealth of knowledge and your experience does not go unnoticed. So before we leave, please tell everybody where they can get more great information, or people in your local area, what the name of your company is and what you offer.
Yeah, we are Heart T Ranch Equestrian Services. You can find us at hearttranch.com. And we're very responsive to email. Check us out on Facebook. Would love to entertain any questions that you have, and excited to have anyone experience this amazing technology.
Thank you so very much again. For those of you out there, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and let Tammy and I know what questions you have. If you have any great success stories or comments, we'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much.